It's time for the big three. Today's topics: fallout, 2016, and this week's must-read. So let's bring in my big three panel. MSNBC contributor and former Bush Cheney senior advisor Robert Traynham, professor of political science at Hiram College and politics editor at The Source magazine Jason Johnson, and Washington correspondent for the Daily Beast Eleanor Clift. And a welcome to all three of you. Robert, I'm going to reach out to you because I think you're the furthest away today. Were you in London or something? Yeah, okay. Anyway.
I'm in London.
Okay, let's go to the allegations by the Hoboken, New Jersey mayor that millions of dollars in Superstorm Sandy recovery grants were withheld for political reasons. Here's New Jersey Assemblyman John Wisniewski today on Meet the Press. Take a listen.
Not sure exactly what caused Mayor Zimmer to wait till now, but clearly the allegation that she was asked to support a redevelopment project where there was funding from the Port Authority, which we're investigating, in turn for her getting money for her municipality, raises serious allegations. We don't know where it goes. We don't know if there's more to it, but I think it's something the committee has to consider as part of the overall investigation.
What's your reaction to that, Robert?
I agree 1,000%. Look, the truth will come out, but I find it a little bit troubling that the mayor is just coming out with this now. If, in fact, she was pressured to do one thing or the other because of Sandy funds or the lack thereof, then I find it a little interesting that she did not say something during the Sandy fund disbursement of the funds. I mean, one would think that when 90% of your city is underwater, and if, in fact, you don't get all of the funds that you believe that you deserve, you would raise Cain back then. But look, at the end of the day, Governor Christie is being asked to come out with some of the facts here, and we'll see what the facts come out with.
Okay. Jason, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, he was on Meet the Press also, and here's what he said.
Mayor Zimmer, just shortly before she made this revelation, said that she didn't believe that any holdup in the funds had anything to do with any kind of retribution for not endorsing the governor. I'm informed that she said that. She also said she liked working with Governor Christie. So I think you have to look at her current statement in light of her former statements before this became an orchestrated pylon.
Okay, so what's your take, Jason, on this?
You know, Robert Gates said nice things about Barack Obama, too. People change their mind when the pressure is on them. Look, it's very obvious that this is a larger problem in the Christie administration. Is it really that hard to see that he would say, look, you can't get funds, that there's all sorts of different people negotiating deals back way one way or another? The larger issue here is, how is he going to fix this and move forward? I believe Zimmer, and I think it's perfectly possible she said nice things before because she was trying to maintain a very difficult relationship with the governor's office.
And to that end, Eleanor, where does Chris Christie go from here?
Well, I guess he gets back to New Jersey from his Florida trip, and we'll have to answer questions about his political future. He's all lawyered up. So are all of his aides, and so I think the story keeps going on. But he will do, I think, what other significant figures do when faced with this kind of scandal. Specifically, I'm thinking of President Clinton when he was dogged during all of the Whitewater and the Monica proceedings. They say, I'm going back to do the work of the people. So he's going to talk a lot about doing the work for the people of New Jersey.
All right, let's go to 2016. This is all related because, Robert, we're just at the beginning of the lane closures investigation here. More revelations certainly could come out, like yesterday's with the Hoboken mayor. But if you look ahead to 2016, you think it's over for Governor Christie or not at all? Robert.
Yeah, I don't know. But here's the $1 million question. The $1 million question is whether or not I can get to the primary. Look, Tea Party, right-wing conservatives have never been really on board the Christie train because they view him as a big-ticket moderate, if you will. And establishment conservatives, whether it be Lindsey Graham or some of the other individuals out there, have never really bought on to the Christie presidency, if you will. And if you take a look at the 2016 presidential contenders out there on the GOP side, whether it's Marco Rubio, whether it's Rand Paul, they've been lukewarm in terms of the Bridgegate thing. So, you know, Chris Christie has a very, very tough needle to thread here, and I don't know. I just simply don't know where this goes. But look, at the end of the day, independents still like him. That's the reason why they're attracted to him in the first place, because of his blunt manner. The question is whether or not his blunt manner will get him through the primary, and I just simply don't know.
Eleanor, the New York Times writes about how before this scandal, the governor had planned to embark on a European tour to bolster his foreign policy creds, and here's the quote. Now the foreign trip is in limbo as Mr. Christie tries to rebuild his credibility. His biggest political assets, his personality and spontaneity, have been all but absent as he evades reporters' questions and holds few public appearances. So how do you think the past few weeks have impacted his shot at a potential White House run?
Well, I don't think he ever had an easy path through the primaries because the party right now, the Republican Party, really is in the grips of the far right, and they've never liked him. The establishment, however, loved Christie, may still love him, and they think he's really their only chance to win nationally. So I don't think people are going to back off of him yet. They're going to see how he handles this. He's got a lot of reassuring to do, I think, personally, probably on the phone with a lot of big donors. A lot of this is about money. If he's unable to do that, then I'd watch that sort of that Wall Street money and where it goes. They'll take, I think, a hard look at Governor Scott Walker, who's kind of coming on strong with some policy prescription. And I think Governor Jeb Bush, who hasn't said a word throughout any of this, is just kind of laying back and waiting to see if the party will come to him.
You know what's interesting, Jason? I spoke with Florida Democratic Congresswoman and chair of the DNC, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, on my show yesterday. And she and the DNC, they're following Christie all around Florida as he's fundraising for Governor Scott this weekend. She says the focus on Christie has nothing to do with 2016, but could Democrats be getting ahead of themselves by focusing so much attention on him right now?
Yeah, you know, insert New Jersey joke here, forget about it, no chance, whatever it is you want to say. He was never going to be the nominee, and he was never going to beat Hillary Clinton for president. And I've said this all along. He is too overweight, he is too brusque, and he has too many scandals in his background, even before this happened. People forget, the president is an aspirational position. It's who we want to be, not who we are. So even though people may like his brusque nature, I never thought that was going to work in a position where people want to look up to that person. So Christie never had a chance. This is just a reminder of why.
Well, there you go. Next.
Alex, can I respond to that very quickly?
No, because I've got to go. Nick's yelling at me. I got to go.
Okay.
So just hold that thought. We have our must-reads, a Saudi crackdown coming up.
My dad has atrial fibrillation, or AFib.